I wake beneath a fretwork of lightning, the color of glacier ice. It splits the sky into 1,000 crooked veins, then disappears behind the ragged edge of dawn. My ears ring. My skull feels hollow. I clutch my name, but it trickles through my fingers like water. Blinking, I notice I'm shirtless. The air is cold, but not as cold as the panic. Where am I? Who am I? Then I see the writing on my forearms, furious black lines, precise, deliberate, raised ridges where scabs once were. I bring my left arm close to my face. This is Mara. You are 29 days, 14 hours since the last forgetting. Breathe, read, trust me, trust the one with the matching marks. I mouth the word Mara as if it's foreign currency. The script continues snaking around my wrist. The sky will reset you every 30th day. It has happened 83 times. Each reset erase memories but leaves the body intact. You tattooed these words yesternight. Tap the heart ink. Behind your ribs, you will feel it. I slide my hand under my ribs and feel a raised shape, a small anatomical heart etched over skin still tender. I shiver. I don't remember the pain, but the tenderness proves it happened. More ink winds upward, a climbing vine. You are not alone. Find the man with the same heart on his chest. His name is Lysander. He loves you, and you love him. Though you won't remember until you do. I look up from my arms. Ruined fields stretch in every direction, spars of metal protruding like fractured bones from the earth. Ash-gray clouds roil overhead, discharging another volley of electric threads. They crack the horizon, then wink out. A figure strides toward me across the stubble lean, with a hood drawn. My pulse flutters. Fight? Flight? But then I notice a glint of ink on his cheek. A small crescent riding the cheekbone. He reaches conversational distance, lifts the edge of his hood. His eyes are storm gray and confused, mirroring mine. He touches 2 fingers to the crescent, as if unsure whether it belongs to him. I lift my arm, show him the words, "You are not alone." His eyes track the letters. You are not alone. His eyes track the letter. I'm Lysander, he murmurs, as if reading from a prompter behind my shoulder. I think. I step closer. Do you have? My fingers touch the heart beneath my ribs. With a tentative nod, he tugs down his collar. There it is, an identical heart, rendered in obsidian ink. Below it, fresh words curve across his ribs. Mara breathes honey into midnight. She calls your name when thunder breaks. Keep her safe until next dawn. Tell her the story again. Seems we've done this before, Lysander says. I manage a tremulous laugh. At least 83 times, his eyebrows knit. Have we tried just leaving? Probably, I answer, though I have no idea. But apparently we keep choosing each other instead. He extends his hand. I take it because it feels natural, even if the memory is gone. The skin-on-skin contact is both introduction and reunion, first encounter and homecoming. The electromagnetic storm swirls above like a celestial whirlpool. Bolts branch outward in timed intervals, 30 days to the second. The archivists once called it the endless aurora, but they're either gone or they've forgotten why the term mattered. A rumor persists that the pulses originate from a collapsed orbital array, meant to scrub atmospheric data, an experiment that devoured its masters. But rumors don't survive long in a world where remembering itself is an act of rebellion. A mud brick structure looms nearby, half collapsed. We duck inside. Inside the shell, a battered table holds a kit of needles, inks made from soot and pulverized copper, a mirror, and a pocket watch frozen at 11:58. Beneath the watch, folded cloths, vials of antiseptic, a stub of chalk. Looks like we prepared, Lysander says. Pinned to the far wall is a crude calendar, 30 squares wide. The last square bears 2 vertical lines, today's date. I locate a lantern, spark it. The flame wavers, revealing more script on my flanks, my thighs, my calves. Whole paragraphs. I catch phrases. First kiss behind the floated library. You cried when he spoke of constellations he could no longer name. Do not inject nostalgia. It is a trap. Build new moments. I turned to Lysander. Want to read? He pulls off his shirt, bearing a cartography of ink. There are arrows at his shoulder blades. Begin here. I run my finger where the arrow points, reading aloud. Day 8, we found the strings of the old violin. You restored them. Your music chased away the hume of the storm for 1 full minute. Day 12:4, apples on a charred tree. We ate 3, planted the seeds of the 4th. Hope takes root. Lysander shivers as my fingertips trail across the lines. Feels like someone else's diary. Someone else who looked like us, I say gently. He meets my eyes and the confusion softens into something like trust. We must have loved each other to carve all this. Either that, or our past selves were extremely imaginative sadists, I joke. But the joke tastes off. The thought of stabbing ink under skin every month to preserve affection is equal parts devotion and desperation. He touches a line just above my hip bone. Day 19, she cold in sleep. Sky too loud. He held her until violet. I feel heat crawl up my neck. Guess you've held me, he blushes. I guess I'm good at it. Outside, lightning detonates again. The building groans. We find a bundle of clothes, water flask, a map scrawled on tanned hide. At the top, the source is southwest. We get closer each month. We lose the path, each forgetting. Trust the ink. The route is punctuated with cryptic notes. Bridge of glass, Silt River, Iron Gully. A star marks a location with the words, kill switch. Seems we're trying to stop the storm, Lysander says. Maybe to keep our memories. Maybe to stop everyone's forgetting. I wonder how many couples never thought to tattoo. The question lingers like secondhand smoke. We shoulder packs. Before leaving, I grab a needle, open a bottle of ink. Insurance, he grimaces. Now? If we're moving closer to the source, who knows what we'll face? I ink the date behind my ear. Cycle 84, day 1. It stings. I hand him the needle. He scribes the same mark behind his ear. Let's make it back before we have to redo the calendar, he murmurs. Or at least etch something new worth remembering, I reply. We set out. The world is a museum of broken machinery. Skeleton windmills stand over cracked fields. A derelict monorail track snakes along the hills, every pylon fused into glass by repeated strikes. Feral dogs watch from a distance, their eyes reflecting the sky's static. We follow a path where earlier selves planted sticks bearing fabric flags. Some flags have weathered away, but a few cling stubbornly, fluttering like tongues. By dusk we reach the bridge of glass, a river crossing whose railings have melted into curving crystalline arcs. The walkway sparkles with shards, refracting orange sunset into constellations. I pause, mesmerized. It's beautiful. He kneels and picks up a clear shard edged like a petal. Fragile, though. I study his face in the orange light. A scar slashes through the word constellations inked on his neck. I swallow. We must have broken before. We fixed, he counters. We camp in the husk of a toll booth at the bridgehead. Our packs contain preserved lentils, a flint striker, a flask of something labeled TA. He heats it over a pocket stove. The aroma is smoky, almost sweet. Sitting in that flickering light, words scratch at my mind, like a half-remembered melody. I set the cup down. Do you think love survives the forgetting? He stares into the fire. Maybe love is the part of memory that remembers itself. I tilt my head, trying to grasp that. He gestures at our tattoos. These aren't memories. They're memorials. Tombstones for events we can't recall. But the feelings? Something must linger beneath the wipe. Otherwise, why would we keep rewriting the same vows? I consider the weight of ink, the tenderness of fresh lines, the eagerness with which we accepted each other's hands today. Maybe the heart keeps separate ledgers, I say. He smiles, small and soft. Then our debt to each other is infinity. A gust shakes the toll booth. Blue light flickers overhead. We huddle together, unspoken agreement, and the warmth of his body fits mine like a mold. I fall asleep, counting the beats of his heart, pricking each one into an imaginary ledger. Morning. I wake to the scratch of pen on skin. Lysander has propped a mirror and is adding text to his collarbone. I sit up. What are you writing? He stops, offers me the mirror. The lines read, "First morning with sunlight on her hair. She smells of ash and tea. If you're reading this, don't let the next you take that for granted." My chest tightens. That's beautiful. He shrugs. Just trying to leave breadcrumbs. I take the needle. My turn. On the inside of my wrist, I ink. He locks like rain on tin roofs. Never forget to make him laugh. We pack, cross the bridge. A broken sign reads Silt River, 3 km. Our map confirms. The day grows humid. Swarms of insects swirl. Around noon we reach the river, but the bridge is gone collapsed, washed downstream. The water boils with static charge. Sparks crackle on the surface like fizzing soda. Can't wade, I say. Lysander scans the bank. Maybe last cycle's us left a solution. Sure enough, we find a coiled cable in the bushes, its ends capped with copper hooks. A note etched on a scrap of metal. Anchor. Slide. Do not let go. We loop the cable around a standing pylon, fling the other end across using a weighted pouch we find near it. It catches in the branches of a tree on the far side. Lysander tightens the line. I'll go first. Hand over hand, he traverses the crackling water, then secures the cable. My palms sweat, but I follow. Sparks bite my boots, but I reach the far bank. As we coil the cable again, the sky flickers. I check my arm. Cycle 84, Day 2. We trek along Iron Gully, a chasm lined with corroded machinery. The air smells metallic. We descend via a staircase charred into basalt. At the bottom stands a door embedded in rock pale, seamless, with a numeric keypad. I glance at Lysander. Does the map say anything? He unfolds the hide. Near the star. Door code equals number of times the rain has sang. I exhale. Cryptic much? He scratches his temple. Our past selves must have known we'd know. Great. We don't. I pace, trying to draw out memory, but the ledger upstairs is blank. Lysander scans his arms for any numbers. Look for something that repeats. I roll up my sleeves, pant legs, check ribs. On my ankle, 12 notes in the Song of Rain. Cross in measure of 4. I show him. He grins, hope cutting through fatigue. 12. He punches 012 on the pad. The door hisses open. That was either genius or suicidal, I mutter. Inside, an elevator shaft with manual crank. Graffiti covers the walls. You are almost there. Don't worry about the music. Your heart will remember the dance. We descend. The shaft ends at a tunnel lit by bioluminescent algae. The air buzzes with faint electricity. At the tunnel's far end, a chamber containing a leviathan of wires, panels, flickering screens. In the center, what looks like a cobalt turbine rotates slowly, arcing blue light into superconductive rails overhead. The arcs spiral up through a borehole like a Jacob's ladder. Straight to the sky. Kill switch, I whisper. Lysander nods toward a console. On it, a red lever sealed beneath plexi. Words stenciled above. Once pulled, no restart. Memories will stay, but consequences unknown. On the plexi lid, we have etched a final note. This time unmistakably our handwriting. Fresh scabs. If you still choose each other, after 83 forgettings, you can choose the world too. My throat closes. We did this, but did we decide? Looks like we left it to us. We walk around the turbine. Static raises the hairs on our arms. A side screen lists the countdown. 27 days, 6 hours until next memory wipe. Plenty of time. But somehow the weight of choice feels urgent, as though the next lightning bolt might be the one that smashes the planet. Lysander speaks first. What if the storm is all that's keeping us alive? Maybe it's shielding us from something worse. Or maybe it keeps us docile, I counter, unable to organize, remember, rebuild. He places a hand over the heart tattoo on his chest. I believe our past selves wanted release. I mimic the gesture. My hand trembles. I'm scared. What if we pull it and forget each other anyway, just slower? He steps closer. His voice is soft iron. We'll remember like normal people do, with stories, photos, arguments, and forgiveness. If we can't trust our brains, we'll invent new ways. But we'll have time. Real time. My eyes sting. I nod. Then a thought. We should mark this. Something permanent, besides ink. He smiles. I have an idea. He produces a small folding knife, flips it open, gently lifts my palm. He carves a tiny cross on my lifeline, shallow but definite. I do the same on his. 2 future scars that no storm can erase because they are part of our biology, not simply neurological circuits. We stand before the lever. Together, he says. Our hands cover the handle. We flip the safety. Count. 1, 2, 3. The lever slams down. A scream of power vibrates through the turbine. The blue arcs flicker, then gutter out like candles in wind. Darkness falls. Real darkness absent the usual strobing sky. My ears ring with sudden silence. We wait. A faint hum persists, fades, dies. Then stillness. And the smell of ozone receding. Somewhere above, clouds unravel. Soil remembers the scent of rain unburdened by charge. Lysander exhales a shaky laugh. Did we just fix the world? I don't know. We climb. The tunnel, the elevator shaft, emerge into twilight. The clouds have thinned to gauze. A single star pierces the sky steadfast, unblinking. A gape. I've never seen one before, at least not during this life. Beside it, another twinkles, then a third. Lysander takes my hand. Look, Mara, constellations. The word shivers inside me, resonates with the ink on his neck. A memory surfaces, him tracing imaginary patterns on my skin, saying names, Orion, Lyra, Andromeda. The memory is incomplete, but it's mine. Tears slide down my cheeks. I remember a fragment. He squeezes my hand. Maybe the fragments will grow. Night deepens. We trek back toward the ruined fields, but now there is bird song. An impossible phenomenon at this hour. Yet there it is, a lark greeting starlight. The air no longer crackles. The world has exhaled. We reach the mud brick house near dawn. The battered table remains, the calendar pinned on the wall. Lysander grabs a piece of chalk and writes across all 30 squares in one sweeping word. Forever. I laugh through tears. Bit optimistic, just practical, he says. We'll need bigger walls for future days. I examine my arms, the dense forests of text. What do we do with all this? He thinks. We keep it. It's our prelude, but now we get chapters, not just footnotes. I lift the needle kit. No more monthly re-inking. He twists a fresh bottle of ink open, grins. Oh, we'll still tattoo, but not because we're afraid to forget. Because we have too much living to fit only in memory. He pulls off his shirt and turns his back to me. Blank real estate between shoulder blades. Write something. I dip the needle, ponder, then carve letters slowly, savoring the permanence that no longer feels like defense but celebration. Day 0 after the storm. We stood under the first unbroken sky and saw stars we had only dreamed of. He held my hand and I felt the entirety of U.S. past, present, future, ignite like constellations beyond name. He inhales sharply at the sting, but doesn't flinch. When I'm finished, he inspects the fresh script in the mirror and smiles, satisfied. My turn, he says. He inks along my rib cage. She said the sky could finally listen. I promised to fill it with songs she would remember without ink. We sit back to back in the dawn, ink drying on our skin, the storm now a memory, or maybe myth. Above, a flock of geese cuts a chevron against palest blue. They are migrating something. Only instinct could teach them. I realize that nature has its own tattoos, invisible yet indelible, guiding wings and paws and hearts. Lysander speaks, voice hushed. We might forget minor things. Where we put the kettle, the joke we laughed at last Tuesday, but we'll remember the important parts the old-fashioned way. By living them, I say, and by telling each other over and over until the stories etch themselves into soul. We watch the sun breach the horizon, casting pink gold over the scorched earth, making every shard of glass on the distant bridge flash like a million new beginnings. I press my freshly carved palm scar to his, fitting the crosses together. 2 signatures on a contract with the future. Behind my eyes, instead of blankness, I feel spacious halls filling with memories yet to be born. Apples ripening on that charred tree. The violin's melody carried on wind no longer laced with static. Arguments about whose turn it is to fetch water. Forgiveness offered under quiet constellations. Children, maybe inkless, fearless, asking about the strange stories on our skins. He follows my gaze to the brightening sky. We should name that first star, he says. Why, I tease. Stars already have names older than maps. All the more reason to choose one that means something to us, I think. Then grin. Cycle 84. He laughs. Cycle 1, technically. Cycle infinity, I counter. He nods. Infinity it is. We stand, shoulders brushing, and set off to plant the apple seeds we saved, because hope takes root. Each step leaves footprints in ash that no storm will now erase, and though the ink on our skins will fade and blur with years, it no longer matters. Our story has finally outrun the lightning.